Well. Good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from kind of soggy San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hope you guys are fired up and ready for a fantastic day today. I've missed you. Hopefully you've enjoyed some of the videos I've been making. I've been making live videos every day for almost 2.5 years. And we've had some real good ones recently that I repurposed and reintroduced. And so I hope you've been enjoying those, because one thing I know for sure is that principles are timeless. Principles are timeless. I'm gonna hold on to this because I'm about to hit it real quick. That way y'all don't fall over as I get ready to get on the highway, because I'm not one of those people that creeps on it super slow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what are we gonna talk about this morning? If you want to grow big muscles, think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, think of the people that win championships, you know, the Mr. Universe, the Mrs. Universe. If you want big muscles, there's not a mystery around how to obtain them. There's no mystery about it whatsoever. There's very clear research, and there are very simple plans to follow. Simple to follow, not easy to live. Simple to follow, not easy to live. Simple to understand, not easy to live. If you want big muscles, there's a couple of basic principles, and I will be applying them to your life this morning. Principle 1, go heavy. Use heavy weight. Go heavy, use heavy weight. And number 2, work to failure. Work to failure. So let me just give you a basic quick lesson on human physiology and the brilliance of this incredible body that God blessed us with at birth. So the human body is fascinating. You know, a lot of people would think, well, if I eat less, then I'll lose weight. So I'll just eat one meal a day or something like that, you know, or I'll just eat one big meal at night and I'll lose weight because I'll be eating less. Well, the exact opposite happens. In fact, most athletes, when my wife was competing, she was probably eating 8 times a day. And here's how your body works. It's almost like it's got a mind of its own. Your body goes into this mode where if you are only feeding it once or twice a day, your body, in its mind of its own, says, wow, this dude must be a really bad hunter. He can't catch nothing, so we need to slow our metabolism down and slow down the burning of this fat or this extra buildup. We need to keep it. We need to retain it. We need to help him blow up, because we don't know when this poor hunter's going to catch another woolly mammoth. We don't know when this guy's going to get more prey to eat. So he's obviously a bad hunter. Therefore, we're going to slow metabolism down and burn real slow, because we don't know when this sucker's going to get a chance to eat again. Okay? This is how the body works. Now, if somebody is feeding their body every couple of hours, then the body's like, this girl's a great hunter. This girl's catching something all the time. This girl is in a season and a land of plenty. Therefore, since she's feeding us every couple hours, we better hurry that metabolism up and burn that stuff off, because we ain't got no fear of lack, because it's coming. Okay, so the body works in a certain way. When someone is lifting very heavy weights, and they work until failure, the muscles tear down, and the muscles have a conference. They get together in their little muscle conference room and they say, hey bicep, hey tricep, we got some issues here. You know what's happening? Let me tell you what's happening is that this old sucker's out there lifting heavy stuff. Who knows what he's doing, but we can't even help him lift it more than about 10 times, and then we fail. So we need a building program. We need to start building, because he's tearing us up and tearing us down. You see, the muscles tear when you work to failure and lift heavy. Low repetitions, they tear. And during your rest is when they build back up. This is not a biology lesson. This is a physiology lesson, because this, my friend, is how it applies to you having a big life. You want to have big muscles? Go heavy and work to failure. You want a big life? You need to go heavy, and you need to work to failure. What do I mean by that? I'm not talking about moral failure. I'm not talking about ethical failure. I'm not talking about a failure that comes from being lazy, afraid, scared, or paralyzed because of, ooh, what could happen? What if it goes wrong? What if I fail? That's what you want. You want a big life? big life comes from working to failure. What does working to failure look like for most people? Working to failure is when you can give no more. You go in a little bit earlier than other people. You stay a little bit later than the other folks. When you're ready to go home, like my boy Brad did last night at 81 phone calls, he hit the door, and then that voice in his head says, man, come on, you ain't that far from making 100 contacts today. And he did a 180, went back in, and he completed his 100 contacts for the day. You see, when you want a big life, you gotta go heavy, meaning you do the hard stuff and you work to failure, meaning that you must come to a place where a weightlifter understands, if I stay light and I don't work to failure, I'm gonna be all right, but I ain't gonna get big muscles. I'm not gonna grow if that's the goal. If growth is the goal, then a weightlifter does not beat him or herself up when they work to failure and can no longer lift anymore and wipe themselves out before they take a mini rest before going to the next set. They don't interpret working to failure as a negative. They interpret working to failure as a necessary scientific part of the process of muscle growth and development. And I will argue this morning, ladies and gentlemen, that it is the same principle for a big life. Go heavy in your marriage. What does that mean? Sucker, maybe you need to go to counseling. Maybe you need some help. Maybe if you stopped whining about her and started focusing on you and putting the work into you and went heavy and worked to failure, maybe you would grow a good marriage muscle. Maybe in your parenting. I know how it is, man. I got 7 kids, y'all. Ain't nobody tell me nothing, honey. I got 7 childrens, 4 teenagers, getting ready to have 5 in the house. And I'm going to tell you that there's nothing like a teenager to test the mettle of a man or woman's spirit when it comes to, but I'm feeding you, baby boy. There's nothing like a teenager to test your mettle to see if you really are going to let your audio and visual match up with what you believe and know to do as a parent, which is best for these kids. You gotta go heavy. You have to be willing to be that parent who is disliked for a season so that they can be respected for a lifetime as you train your child to become an adult. You've got to be willing to go heavy, and you've got to work to failure. You see, just like with the muscles who are at their capacity with weight, and the intention is to work to failure to tear the muscle down, it's not because you're going to stay in a torn down state. It's because once the muscle is torn, the body goes to work to repair itself, and it builds more muscle tissue, getting bigger, getting stronger, allowing you to endure more. And so it is with your life. The same thing with your life. Oh, you just do a couple of calls? All right. Oh, you just want to knock on a couple of doors? Okay. Oh, you want to spend your life getting organized but never taking action? All right. You're not going to have a big life. It's just not going to be a big life. It's going to be a mediocre, average life that'll be real safe, about as safe as doing a 2-mile-per-hour walk on a treadmill or walking around the mall in the morning at a swift, steady pace with your little headband on with your arms going back and forth. Hey, it's better than sitting on the couch, but it ain't a big life. Do you understand what I'm saying? You want the big life, you have to go heavy, and you must work to failure. So redefining for yourself working to failure, not as a negative, but as an indicator that you've gone as far as you can go with what you know, that then allows a breakdown in your mind, in your heart, and in your spirit that should typically push you to a breakthrough for you to learn and to grow, to gain some wisdom, gain some experience and some knowledge, so that you can begin again with this new knowledge and therefore expand your life, grow your life, just as if you are growing the muscle. I have a saying in my coaching program that we get paid the big bucks to have the hard conversation. You think about whoever has the hardest conversations are normally the professionals that are paid the most, because they recognize that as a professional responsibility. You must be willing to go heavy and have the hard conversations with yourself and those who are closest to you. And you must put in the effort to work to failure, reinterpreting failure not as a negative, but as a necessary ingredient to you going to the next level in your growth. You want big muscles? Go heavy and work to failure. You want a big life? Go heavy and work to failure. Have a great day, guys.